What if I told you that 5 simple technique adjustments could make you run faster, feel lighter, and eliminate the pain that's been holding you back? What if the reason you're struggling with running isn't your fitness level, but tiny form mistakes that are secretly sabotaging every single stride? You're about to discover 5 game-changing technique tips that elite coaches use with Olympic athletes, but simplified so you can apply them immediately on your very next run. The 5th tip is going to completely transform how running feels in your body. And it might be the opposite of what you've been told. But before we unlock these secrets that could revolutionize your running, I need you to do something right now. Smash that subscribe button and hit the like button. Because what you're about to learn is information that most runners spend years trying to figure out. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's your biggest struggle with running right now? Is it knee pain? Shin splints? Just feeling slow and heavy? I want to know because these 5 tips are designed to solve exactly those problems. Welcome to a journey into perfect running technique that's going to make everything easier, faster, and pain-free. Prepare to discover the exact form cues that will unlock your natural running potential, eliminate common injuries caused by poor mechanics, and help you run with the efficiency and grace you've always wanted. This isn't complicated biomechanics that requires a PhD to understand. These are 5 simple, actionable tips that you can implement today and feel the difference immediately. Over the next several minutes, you're going to learn the specific technique elements that separate injury-prone, struggling runners from those who seem to float effortlessly down the road. Before we dive in, I need to know where you're watching from. Comment right now with your city or country. I absolutely love seeing our global running community come together right here. And if you haven't already subscribed, do it now and turn on notifications so you never miss content that could be the breakthrough you've been searching for. Let's get into these 5 perfect technique tips. Technique tip number 1 is all about your head position and where you're looking. And this might be the simplest change that creates the biggest impact. Most runners look down at the ground right in front of their feet. This seems natural because you want to see where you're stepping, right? Wrong! Looking down creates a cascade of biomechanical problems that ruin your form and slow you down. When your head is tilted downward, your neck flexes forward, which pulls your shoulders forward into a rounded position. This compressed upper body restricts your breathing because your rib cage can't expand fully. It also throws off your entire spinal alignment. Your center of gravity shifts forward incorrectly, often causing you to lean from your waist instead of your ankles. All of this creates tension through your neck, shoulders, and upper back. You're wasting energy maintaining this tense collapsed position. Plus, looking down psychologically makes running feel harder. You're literally looking at the ground, at the work, at the effort. It's mentally draining. Here's the fix, and it's so simple it almost seems too easy. Lift your gaze. Look forward at the horizon or at a point about 20 to 30 feet ahead of you. Not straight up at the sky, just forward at a natural eye level. When you lift your gaze, everything else follows. Your head comes up and back into alignment with your spine. Your chest naturally opens. Your shoulders roll back and down into a strong, open position. Your breathing immediately becomes easier and deeper. Your posture straightens without you having to force it. This one simple cue, look forward, not down, fixes multiple form problems simultaneously. Try this right now if you're able to stand up. Look down at your feet. Feel how your whole body collapses slightly. Now lift your gaze and look straight ahead. Feel how your posture instantly improves. That's what we want when you run. Elite runners keep their gaze forward. They trust their peripheral vision and their body's natural ability to navigate terrain. They keep their head up, their eyes on the horizon, and their body in optimal alignment. Make this your first focus on your next run. Every few minutes, check where you're looking. If you've drifted back to staring at the ground, consciously lift your gaze back up. After a few runs of deliberate practice, this becomes automatic. Your body learns to default to proper head position. Comment below right now and tell me honestly, do you usually look down when you run? This is probably affecting you more than you realize. Technique tip number 2 addresses one of the most common and destructive form mistakes that leads directly to injury: overstriding. Overstriding is when your foot lands way out in front of your body with each step. Picture someone reaching forward with their leg, landing on their heel far ahead of their center of mass. This is incredibly common, and it's incredibly problematic. Here's why overstriding is killing your running. First, it creates massive braking forces. Every time your foot lands out in front of you, you're essentially hitting the brakes. You're stopping your forward momentum and then having to re-accelerate with each stride. Imagine driving a car and tapping the brake pedal with every rotation of the wheels. That's what you're doing to your running. It's exhausting and slow. Second, overstriding creates huge impact forces that travel up through your shin, knee, and hip. Your leg is straight or nearly straight at impact, which means there's no bend in your joints to absorb the shock. All that force goes straight into your bones and connective tissue. This is the primary cause of shin splints, knee pain, IT band syndrome, and hip problems in runners. You're literally pounding your body into the ground with every step. The solution to overstriding is simple but requires conscious practice. You need to land with your foot underneath your body, not out in front. When your foot makes contact with the ground, it should be directly under your hip or just slightly ahead. This creates a smooth, rolling motion where you land and immediately push off without any braking. Your joints are slightly bent, which allows them to absorb impact forces naturally. The stress is distributed through muscle instead of slamming into bone and tendon. How do you fix overstriding? The most effective method is to increase your cadence. Cadence is your step rate, measured in steps per minute. Most recreational runners have a cadence between 150 and 160 steps per minute. Elite runners are typically at 170 to 180 or even higher. When you increase your cadence, your stride naturally shortens. You physically cannot overstride at a high cadence. The math doesn't work. If you're taking 180 steps per minute, those steps have to be quicker and shorter. This automatically brings your foot landing back underneath your body. Here's how to practice this. Download a metronome app on your phone or find music that's at 170 to 180 beats per minute. Next time you run, match your foot strikes to the beat. At first, this will feel weird and choppy. You'll feel like you're taking tiny steps and shuffling along. That's okay. You're retraining your neuromuscular system. Stick with it for the entire run. After 3 or 4 runs at this higher cadence, it starts to feel more natural. After a few weeks, it becomes automatic. Your body learns that this is the new normal. The beautiful thing is, once you've adapted to the higher cadence, you'll actually run faster at the same effort level because you've eliminated all that braking force. You're moving more efficiently. And the pain you were experiencing, it starts to fade because you're not hammering your joints with every step anymore. This one change, increasing cadence to eliminate overstriding, is probably the single most impactful technique adjustment you can make. What are you thinking right now? Does this explain some of the pain you've been experiencing? Drop a comment and let me know if overstriding might be your problem. Technique tip number 3 is about your arms, and most runners completely ignore their arm swing even though it's critical for efficient running. Your arms do more than just swing along for the ride. They provide counterbalance to your leg movement, contribute to forward momentum, and help maintain rhythm and stability, but only if you're using them correctly. Most runners make one or more of these arm swing mistakes. Swinging arms across the midline of the body, which creates rotational forces that waste energy. Holding arms too high up by the chest, which creates shoulder tension. Letting arms hang too low and loose, which provides no power. Clenching fists tightly, which creates tension that radiates up through the forearms and shoulders. Allowing arms to swing wildly without control, which looks like flailing and wastes energy. Any of these sound familiar? Here's what proper arm swing looks like and how to achieve it. Your elbows should be bent at approximately 90 degrees. This creates the optimal lever length for your arm swing. Your hands should swing from roughly hip height at the back of the swing to about chest height at the front. Not higher, not lower. Your arm swing should be forward and back, not side to side. Imagine your arms are in tracks or on rails that only allow forward and backward motion. Your hands should not cross the center line of your body. If you drew a line straight down the middle of your torso, your hands should stay on their respective sides of that line. Your hands should be relaxed, gently curled, as if you're holding a potato chip that you don't want to crush. Not clenched into tight fists. Your shoulders should be down and back, not hunched up toward your ears. When you get all of these elements right, your arm swing becomes a powerful tool that drives you forward, especially on hills and during the final push in a race. Your arms and legs work together in a coordinated rhythm. Right arm forward as left leg comes forward. Left arm forward as right leg comes forward. This natural counterbalance keeps you stable and efficient. Here's a drill to practice proper arm swing. Stand in place and practice the motion without running. Bend your elbows 90 degrees, hands gently curled. Swing your arms forward and back, keeping them in those imaginary tracks. Drive your elbows back purposefully. Let your hands come forward naturally. Feel the rhythm. Now start running in place while maintaining that exact arm swing. Feel how your whole body coordinates around that arm movement. Now take it to an actual run. For the first mile of your next run, focus exclusively on your arm swing. Check in every 30 seconds. Are your hands crossing the midline? Relax them back to the sides. Are your shoulders creeping up? Drop them down and back. Are you clenching your fists? Shake them out and re-establish that gentle potato chip hold. After deliberately practicing for a mile, let your arms swing naturally for the rest of the run. You'll notice they default to better form because you've reinforced the correct pattern. Do this arm-focused mile once or twice a week for a month. Your arm swing will transform and you'll feel more powerful and controlled in your running. Technique tip number 4 addresses something that might seem minor but has massive implications for injury prevention and running efficiency. Foot strike pattern. There's a lot of debate in the running world about whether you should be a heel striker, midfoot striker, or forefoot striker. Here's the truth that cuts through all the confusion. The specific part of your foot that touches the ground first matters less than where your foot is landing, relative to your body. If you're landing underneath your center of mass, as we discussed in tip 2, your foot strike will naturally be closer to midfoot or forefoot. If you're overstriding, you're almost certainly heel striking because your leg is extended in front of you. The heel hits first when you overstride. So fixing overstriding often fixes heel striking automatically. That said, there are benefits to thinking about foot strike consciously. A midfoot strike, where the middle part of your foot contacts the ground first and then your heel lightly touches down, is generally the most efficient and safest for most runners. It allows your foot and ankle to act as natural shock absorbers. The arch of your foot compresses and springs back, storing and releasing energy. Your calf muscles and Achilles tendon work as springs. This is how your body is designed to run. A heavy heel strike, where you slam your heel into the ground with a straight leg, bypasses all those natural shock absorption mechanisms. All the impact goes straight up your leg into your knee and hip. This is why heel strikers have higher rates of knee injuries. A forefoot strike, where only the ball of your foot touches down, can be efficient for sprinting or short distances, but for most distance runners, it puts excessive strain on the calves and Achilles tendon. Most people can't sustain it for long distances without developing calf or Achilles problems. So the sweet spot for most runners is that midfoot strike. How do you develop it? The good news is, if you've implemented tip 2 and increased your cadence to eliminate overstriding, you're probably already midfoot striking without even trying. When your foot lands under your body at a higher cadence, midfoot landing happens naturally. But you can also consciously think about it. On your next run, pay attention to how your foot feels when it contacts the ground. Are you crashing down on your heel? Try to land a bit more toward the middle of your foot. Think about your foot rolling from midfoot through to toe off in a smooth motion. Don't land on your toes and stay there. That's not what we want. We want a light initial contact with the midfoot followed by a natural rolling motion and powerful toe off. Here's a simple drill. Take your shoes off and run barefoot on grass for 20 to 30 seconds. When you're barefoot, your body instinctively protects itself by landing more gently and more toward the midfoot. You can't heel, strike hard when barefoot because it hurts. Your nervous system figures this out instantly and adjusts your landing. Feel what that barefoot midfoot landing feels like. Now put your shoes back on and try to replicate that same feeling. This barefoot drill gives you the sensory feedback to understand what we're aiming for. You don't need to become a barefoot runner. You just need to borrow that feedback to improve your shod running mechanics. Think about this for a second. Have you ever thought about how your foot is hitting the ground? Or have you just run on autopilot? Comment below and tell me, are you a heel striker, midfoot striker, or you have no idea? Awareness is the first step to improvement, so don't worry if you don't know. You're about to figure it out. Technique tip number 5 is the one that ties everything together and creates the feeling of effortless, pain-free running that you've been chasing. Relaxation. This is the secret that elite runners know but most. Recreational runners never learn. You have to stay relaxed while running, especially during hard efforts. Tension is the enemy of efficient running. When you're tense, you waste enormous amounts of energy. Muscles that should be relaxed are contracting unnecessarily, burning fuel and creating fatigue. Tension restricts your range of motion, making your stride choppy and inefficient. Tension in your upper body restricts your breathing, limiting oxygen delivery. Tension creates a negative mental feedback loop where you feel worse, so you tense up more, which makes you feel even worse. Most runners, when they start to get tired or when they push hard, unconsciously tense up. Their shoulders creep up toward their ears, their jaw clenches, their fists tighten, their whole face scrunches up, their breathing becomes shallow and rapid. All of this tension makes running feel harder than it needs to be. Elite runners have mastered the art of relaxation under stress. Watch them during a marathon. Even in the final miles when they're running at an incredibly hard effort, their faces are relatively relaxed, their shoulders are down, their hands are loose. They've trained themselves to stay loose even when their body is screaming. This is a trainable skill. You can develop it. Here's how. During every run, do a relaxation scan every few minutes. Start at the top of your head and work down. Is your face tense? Let your jaw hang slightly open. Unclench your teeth. Relax your forehead. Move to your shoulders. Are they hunched up? Consciously drop them down and back. Shake your arms out briefly to release any tension. Check your hands. Are your fists clenched? Open them completely, shake them out, then re-establish that gentle potato chip hold we talked about. Work down through your whole body. Is your core overly tight? You want core engagement for stability, but not rigid tension. Are your legs tight? Focus on smooth, flowing movement rather than forced, tense, pushing. This body scan takes maybe 5 seconds, but doing it repeatedly throughout your run trains your body to default to relaxation instead of tension. Another powerful technique is using a relaxation mantra. Pick a simple word or phrase that reminds you to stay loose. Something like smooth, relax, easy, or loose. When you feel tension creeping in, mentally repeat your mantra and consciously release the tension. This mental cue becomes incredibly powerful with practice. Your brain starts to associate the word with the physical sensation of relaxation. Eventually, just thinking the word triggers the relaxation response automatically. You can also use visualization. Picture yourself running like water flowing downhill. Smooth, effortless, following the path of least resistance. This kind of imagery helps your body relax and find efficient movement patterns. The more you practice relaxation during easy runs, the more accessible it becomes during hard runs and races. You're building a skill. You're training your nervous system to stay calm under stress. This pays enormous dividends, not just in running performance, but in life. The ability to stay relaxed when things are hard is a superpower. Let me share a specific workout that combines all 5 technique tips we've covered. I call it the perfect form run. Once a week, do a run where your only goal is perfect technique, not speed, not distance, just form. Start with a 10-minute easy warm-up, then run for 20 to 30 minutes at a comfortable conversational pace. During this time, cycle through the 5 technique tips. Minute 1, focus on head position. Gaze forward, eyes on the horizon. Minute 2, focus on cadence. Quick, light steps underneath your body. Minute 3, focus on arm swing. Forward and back. Relaxed hands, shoulders down. Minute 4, focus on foot strike. Midfoot landing, smooth roll through. Minute 5, focus on relaxation. Body scan, release tension, stay loose. Then repeat the cycle. By the end of 20 to 30 minutes, you've reinforced each element multiple times. You've practiced perfect form while your body is fresh and can actually learn. Then finish with a 10-minute easy cool down. This workout might not feel hard in terms of cardiovascular effort, but it's incredibly valuable. You're programming your neuromuscular system to execute perfect technique. Over time, these conscious corrections become unconscious defaults. Your body just runs correctly without you having to think about it. Here's what happens when you implement all 5 of these technique tips consistently. Your running becomes lighter and more efficient. You feel like you're gliding instead of pounding. Your breathing becomes easier because your posture is open and your rhythm is smooth. Your pain starts to disappear. Knee pain fades because you're not overstriding and slamming your joints. Shin splints heal because you're landing properly. Hip tightness releases because your form is balanced. Your speed improves without trying harder. Efficiency gains translate directly to faster paces at the same effort level. Your enjoyment of running skyrockets. When running doesn't hurt and feels smooth, it's actually fun. This is the transformation that proper technique creates. You don't need to run more miles or do harder workouts. You just need to run correctly. Fix the technique and everything else falls into place. Elite runners understand this deeply. They obsess over form because they know it's the foundation of everything. You can have the same foundation starting with your very next run. Now think about how you're going to apply this. Which of the 5 tips resonated most with you? Which one do you think will make the biggest difference in your running? You don't have to fix everything at once. In fact, trying to change too much simultaneously usually leads to overthinking and tension. Pick one tip. Focus on it exclusively for a week. Get comfortable with it. Let it become natural. Then, add the next tip. Within 5 weeks, you've integrated all 5 elements and your running is completely transformed. This progressive approach works because you're not overwhelming your nervous system. You're making one change, grooving that pattern, then building on it. Layer by layer, you construct perfect technique. Comment below right now and tell me which of the 5 tips you're going to start with. Make your commitment public. When you declare your intention, you're far more likely to follow through. Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize something crucial. Perfect technique doesn't mean perfect results overnight. You're changing movement patterns that your body has been executing for years or even decades. That takes time. Your body has to unlearn old patterns and learn new ones. Your nervous system has to build new motor programs. Your muscles have to adapt to different demands. This is a process measured in weeks and months, not days. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small improvements. Notice when running feels a little bit easier. Appreciate when a nagging pain starts to fade. Recognize when you catch yourself maintaining good form without thinking about it. These are victories. These are progress markers. Running is a lifelong journey. There's no finish line where you arrive at perfect and you're done. There's always refinement. There's always something to improve. Elite runners who've been running for 20 years still work on their form. They still do drills. They still film themselves and make adjustments. This continuous improvement mindset is what keeps running fresh and engaging. Embrace it. Enjoy the process of getting better. Here's what I need from you before you go. First, leave a comment telling me which technique tip surprised you most or which one you think will help you the most. I genuinely want to know what landed for you. Second, if this video gave you actionable information that you're excited to implement, smash that like button so more runners can discover these technique secrets. Third, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications because I'm constantly creating content that will make you a better, smarter, more injury-free runner. And finally, I've got another video ready for you that dives deep into the strength exercises every runner needs to prevent injury and build power. Click the video on your screen right now and keep this learning momentum going. Perfect running technique is within your reach. It's not complicated. It's not reserved for elites. It's 5 simple elements that you can start practicing today. Head position, cadence, arm swing, foot strike, relaxation. Master these and running becomes what it should be. Joyful, effortless, and pain-free. Now get out there and run beautifully. I'll see you on the roads.